All right, hey everyone. So let me ask you a kind of silly question. So what if Daniel Ellsberg, the leaker of the Pentagon Papers, so what if he had Snapchat? So what if Daniel Ellsberg, instead of photocopying 7,000 pages of the Pentagon Papers, like the classified documents on the Vietnam War, saying that the government's lying to us about what our troops are actually doing in Vietnam, and we're misplacing our optimism. What if those 7,000 pages that were otherwise photocopied and then FedExed to the Washington Post, what if instead he just used Snapchat? What if he just set his Snapchat timer to say 2 months? Took photos of all 7,000 documents, and then Snapchat them to the Washington Post. After which, when the Post had finished publishing the story, the documents would just disappear into thin air. Could you even prosecute the leaker in that case? Could you really even prosecute the Washington Post? Okay, but it's difficult, right? It's very difficult. So it's very difficult, but. So I'm Tong Xiang with GhostDrop, and while I'm not a lawyer, I'm a programmer. So we're introducing GhostDrop, which is the Snapchat for sensitive documents. So GhostDrop allows documents to be securely stored and shared for a specified length of time, so it could be anything as like 2 seconds all the way to months. And after which access is denied, the link is broken, and the document is securely deleted from our server. So there's no paper trail, no electronic breadcrumbs, no sort of digital afterlife. So let's give you a little demo of how this works. So here's our front page. And so we have our upload section, and so we've chosen a PDF to upload. And there's a little timer section that'll show you how long you want the document to persist. Afterwards, you can specify a sender email and a recipient email. And so let's give this a shot. So the file's been uploaded successfully. And so Max, my colleague, has actually sent the link to himself so that he can do this demo. But presumably, Daniel Ellsberg would send this to the Washington Post using his Gmail accounts and several levels of encryption that existed in the 70s. So we've uploaded this document that we want to share. The burden of discovering inaccessible electronically stored information. Looking at civil procedure, I think. So as you can see, if the end user receives an email that contains a password, they can log into GhostDrop, and they can read the email. So they can read the PDF document. So notice that Max has tried to save the document with a right click, and this actually sends an email to the recipient notifying them that a save attempt has been made, and the file, after the timer has run out, 45 seconds, the file is permanently deleted. And he receives an email notification. There has been a save attempt on your file. We have revoked his or her access. We've also blocked screenshotting, we've blocked saving, and we've blocked printing. So if you try to return, the document can't be viewed again. But in addition to providing security for whistleblowers, there's also an enormous number of legal applications for a file sharing app that can share confidential data without having that data persist. So that data is deleted after a specified amount of time. So for instance, during, say, like a discovery process during a trial, a party can share evidence with an opposing party and mitigate the chance of leaks to the press, the public. Another example, startups who are seeking funding can send potential investors proprietary information like patents, business plans, their account statements without that information being leaked. GhostDrop can also facilitate endowment transparency at universities. So say universities don't want to diminish their competitive advantage with other universities by releasing the sort of investments they're making. But students are often very concerned about where their money is going. So think about divestment activism in the 80s with South African apartheid. So many universities are hesitant to release that information directly to students, but with GhostDrop, universities can share that information with their students, knowing that that data won't persist, knowing that whichever hedge funds they're investing in won't necessarily get leaked to the press. But we live in a pretty increasingly intrusive world with a lot of encroachment on freedom of speech, on our rights to transparency, and so we think that the best applications of GhostDrop and the areas in which GhostDrop has the most utility is actually in the public sector. So we can lower bureaucratic barriers to implementing freedom of information laws. A government that might be reluctant to release information that it's legally obligated to share might be more persuaded to do so if it knows that the information won't persist by using Ghost Drop. We can also provide a tool to embolden journalists who are alarmed by the rhetoric of certain politicians, like Congressman Peter King, the Republican from New York's 2nd District, who's called widely for the prosecution of journalists who published leaked documents. So Ghost Drop can really be a tool for courageous journalism. We're Ghost Drop, and we like to remind everyone here today that it's pretty difficult to subpoena a document that no longer exists. Thanks so much.